Hello, everybody. Yeah, that sounds right, right?
All right. You got your microphone kind of close.
Too close.
Yeah.
How's that? Much better?
Much better.
Now, to get me, it's A, right?
Yeah. And then that squiggle is that's your video.
A, and that's my video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's the only two you need to know about.
Right.
Okay, Facebook said they're ready when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Twitch is ready. There you are on Twitch. There you are on YouTube. And Facebook is ready for me to press the button. Ready to start?
Right.
There's a start button.
Start button, yeah.
Flip it. There you go. And when you put the clapper in front of your face, you're on the air.
I'm on the air. Sunday afternoon, musical theater 1919, Sunglasses at Midnight. But it's on a Sunday afternoon. And here I am with my big fat belly and my shirt that is so big for me, but it's so comfortable that I have no shoulders. But that's okay too. At 89, I really don't care whether I have shoulders or not. I'm going to continue today with songs from HITCHY COO of 1919. That's Cole Porter's show. It is, as I say in my little note, it's surprising at how much music was recorded from this show back in the day and contemporary. Well, at least 1991. That's when Thomas Hampson recorded 3 of the songs. Boardman says that Raymond Hitchcock served the genial, slightly crack-a-barrel compere. I wish we had him on something, but I can't get it. Florence Dinnershaw performed her elegant ballet dances for novelty. 2 American Indians, Chief Eagle Horse and Princess White Deer, sang and danced. An Old-Fashioned Garden, a sentimental ballad from the review, was an instant success. The song hardly suggested the sophisticated material the world had come to expect from its author Cole Porter, but that might have been there too had not Hitchcock cooked that black and white baby of mine. I know someplace in my world I have a recording of Black and White Baby of Mine by Bobby Short, and I couldn't find it. Bobby Short, wonderful. The show's limited success discouraged Porter, and it was another 5 years before a new Cole Porter score was heard on Broadway. I have, going back into the past, Olive Klein singing The Rose Garden. That's a wonderful song, crazy sentimental, and you're going to love it. Okay, here we go. course, that Hitchy Coo of 1918 is wrong. I should have been in here, but why I have no idea.
It was an old-fashioned garden, just an old-fashioned garden, but it carried me back to that dear little shack in the land of long ago. I saw an old-fashioned meadow getting old-fashioned kisses in an old-fashioned garden from an old-fashioned
Yeah. I have another version of Old Fashioned Garden by a guy by the name of Sam Ash, and I play it because of all the pictures involved.
One summer day, I chanced to stray to a garden of flowers blooming wild. It took me once more to the dear days of yore, and the spot that I loved as a child. There were the flocks, tall hollyhocks, violets perfuming the air, frail eglantines, shy columbines, and marigolds everywhere. It was an old-fashioned garden, just an old-fashioned garden, but it carried me back to that dear little shack in the land of long ago. I saw an old-fashioned missus getting old-fashioned kisses in that old-fashioned garden from an old-fashioned I saw an old-fashioned missus getting old-fashioned kisses in that old-fashioned garden from an old-fashioned home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, when all is said and done, people, those pictures, some of them are pretty obvious what they were. Some of them, I have no idea what they were. But I do love to look at the old pictures and hear the old songs sung by the old people. Anyway, that was now another one. Now we're going into contemporary days. And yet this is Thomas Hampson singing When I Had the Uniform On. And he does it great.
Now since the Allied banners gave a lesson in good manners to the Kaisers and Crown Princes and von Hindenburgs, von Ludendorffs, von Falkenhains, von Mackensens, von Tirpitzes, von Klums, the youth of all the nations finds its greatest recreations drinking Port Roger und Pommery, Wulf Klieg und Louis Rodere, Ruina, Piper, Heitzig, Montebello, Bums and Cooks. But while I watch the other fellows throwing up their hats and crying that at last the world's made safe for Democrats, for me the road seems rocky, for they've stripped me of my khaki, and since I've been demobilized, I find that life's it used to be when I had a uniform on. For all the lovely ladies fell for me when I had a uniform on. And in those days of glory, I was the beau of every dog and musical show. Each night you'd see me supping somewhere with a dainty little star upon my croix de guerre. Into their inmost hearts they'd let me strike when I had a uniform on. But now the war is o'er, they don't quite like me anymore. And it's a bore, for they used to bound around me in millions. But now somehow that I'm in civilians, they pass me by. Gee, I wish I could start another war. I find that life's not what it used to be when I had a uniform on. For all the lovely ladies fell for me when I had a uniform on. And in those days of glory, I was the beau of every daggone musical show. Each night you'd see me supping somewhere with a dainty little star upon my croix de guerre. Into their inmost hearts they'd let me strike when I had a uniform on. But now the war is o'er, they don't quite like me anymore. And it's a bore, for they used to bound around me in millions. But now somehow that I'm in civilians, they pass me by. Gee, I wish I could start another war.
Yeah, well, that was, and incidentally, that orchestra was conducted, wonderful orchestra. That's the London Symphony with John McGlynn conducting. And as I understand, that plus the next two songs I'm going to play with Thomas Hampson singing are from the original orchestrations from 1919. It certainly was fun to hear in a modern recording. Now we go back to Thomas Hampson and the Cozy Corner in the Ritz.
Now when I was but a baby, father took me up on his knee, saying, son, you must let town topics be your Bible, for I want my little boy to be as well brought up as can be, yet never, never, never brought up for libel. So under the eye of mother, I was taught all my childhood games, such as betting with baby brother, as to dowagers' maiden names. From then on I followed the same old plan of sporting the real who's who's, but it wasn't town topics that made me a man, for now when I want the news I simply adorn a secluded corner, a cozy corner in the Ritz Hotel, when I wander each afternoon for tea, 'cause I like to see the kings and let the queen see me in my corner, my dear little corner, where I gather up the spicy bits. And if you want to meet the girl that's got the latest complexion on her, if you like to see the fellow that your favorite prima donna cashes checks on, Just put your specs on and try my cozy little corner in the Ritz.
That is Thomas Hampson, My Cozy Little Corner at the Ritz. Of course, I get the biggest kick out of this. Cole Porter, quite gay. He has to get every little once in a while his little digs in some of his songs. Did you catch the line? And Thomas Hampson is pretty good with his diction. You can understand most all of his words. He had that little line, he would be a king sitting in his chair in the corner, cozy corner in the witch, and watching all the queens go by. Yes, I guess. Well, anyway. Now, finally, and this is a song I really... I get the biggest kick out of this. This is My Butterfly. The real title is Bring Me Back My Butterfly. It is really a song. Let's go.
Was still the mild, money, wild type of child that's styled commuter when I fell as the suitor for a butterfly. One of those sweet peace-loving geese that police Maurice has built more. No one ever loved guilt more than my butterfly. So when I'd got her tied as a bride with pride blushing, I chose one of those bungalows God grows in Flushing. Then try picture my surprise the other night when I got to the spot and found she'd taken flight. Simply wrote me goodbye. I found the man of my choice, and he's got a Rolls Royce. Oh, send her home, as I'll surely die. Oh, won't you please, please bring me back my butterfly?
Yeah, well, okay, so the first scene of HITCHY COO O1919 was included a song called Pagliacci, and then a song called When Black Sally Sings Pagliacci, and that is followed. I don't have that, and I wish I did. I've never heard it, so I'm looking forward to that someday, hearing it before I croak. And then finally, and that's first thing I introduced, which is a song I do have a copy of someplace, but I could not find it. And hopefully next week I might be able to get a hold of I Introduced. So be it. And also that Black and White Baby of Mine, which they cut out. Okay. Now, because of this actually an amazing piece of stuff on YouTube that I was able to get a hold of. It is a scene from actually the opera Pagliacci, and instead of the words from the opera and the music from the opera, the background is Cole Porter's "Be a Clown." It is really outrageous, and I just want to pass it on. It only takes a couple of minutes, and it's rather amusing and also sadly outrageous. The point of the issue is that I wish they had been able to play Cole Porter's Pagliacci behind it, but they didn't. Okay, so this is that. Let's go.
But what's the first thing an actor learns? The show must go on. Come rain, come shine, come snow, come sleet, the show must go on. So Ridi, Pagliacci.
Don, the world is so full of a number of things. I'm sure we should all be as happy as...
But are we? No. Definitely no. Positively no. Decidedly no.
Short people have long faces, and long people have short faces. Big people have little humor, and little people have no humor at all.
And in the words of that immortal bard, Samuel J. Snodgrass, as he was about to be led to the guillotine, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? My dad said, be an actor, my son, but be a comical one. They'll be standing in lines for those old honky-tonk monkey shines. Now you could study Shakespeare and be quite elite, and you could charm the critics and have nothing to eat. Just slip on a banana peel, the world's at your feet. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone?
Well, I think the lady Netta is her name in the opera. I think that was played by Teresa Stradas, one of my favorite great opera performers. She's out of it now, but in her day she was fantastic. Not only a great singer, but she could also act. And I don't know who the other guy was. What is this? Canio, but I can't remember who played that. That you can find that on a DVD if you want to see the whole opera with Pavarotti. It's kind of amazing. I've seen it. Well, that's that for HITCHY COO of 1919. And I'm moving right along here almost a little too fast. After HITCHY COO of 1919 was a show called Hello, Alexander. And it had music and lyrics by Gene Schwartz and William Jerome, and Alfred Bryan. But I don't have any of those songs. But added and in New York and reinstated for the tour was from the Schubert Gaieties of 1919, the Beale Street Blues, W.C. Handy book music and lyrics. And I have a fabulous recording of that by Alberta Hunter and Fats Waller. Let's hear that. First of all, what Boardman says about Hello, Alexander. It opened on October 7th, 1919 at the 4th Street Theater. A reworking from McIntyre and Heath of the Ham Tree came in the following night and stayed 7 weeks. Between musical numbers, Alexander, introduced by Henry Clay Jones, to leave a good job, pretends to be an important dignitary. A costume ball allowed for a gaudy, peppy finale filled with typical vaudeville turns. Well, anyway, he doesn't mention how Beale Street Blues appeared in there. I don't care. I love it. And I love Alberta Hunter and Fats Waller. Let's go.
Take that surgeon to make me go. I'm going down to the river, maybe by and by. I'm going down to the river, and here's my reason why. 'Cause that river's wet. Beale Street done gone dry.
Yeah. Well, I've forgotten more than I can remember. And I just know that Alberta Hunter had a long, long career. And she was alive as recently as the last decade. I think she was in her 90s. Now that I don't know if that's gospel truth, but she did. I'm almost positive she had a long career. I just have forgotten, and I didn't have it. But I didn't have the opportunity to look it up before I started today. Being 89 is not as easy as you'd like it to be, but I'm having a lot of fun with this. Okay, So that's the Beale Street Blues. I have one more Beale Street Blues, and that is what you'll see, a piano, and it's kind of it's interesting. Let's go. Yeah, well, Beale Street Blues, W.C. Handy, and Alberta Hunter. And who the pianist was, I have no idea. But now, after Beale Street Blues, which was interpolated into Hello, Alexander, came Fritz Kreisler's musical The Apple Blossom. And I have some things from that. Read you what Mr. Boardman says about apple blossoms. I'm going to put my glasses on here. A second show opened on the same night as Hello, Alexander. It was Apple Blossoms at the Globe Theater, one of the season's uncommercial and creative triumphs. Its success was especially noteworthy in view of problems it imposed on itself. Apple Blossoms was an undisguised operetta, a form that, except for Maytime, which opened on 16 August of 1917, seemed to have lost broad appeal, and as the preceding season had shown, was fair game for parody. Oh, the war, Germany, the war, Vienna, Austria, well, God. Moreover, half the score of the new piece was by Fritz Kreisler, an Austrian and the leading violin virtuoso of his generation. No Austro-Hungarian works had braved New York since The Stargazer back in 1917 was so ignominiously hustled away during the war. The show confirmed what Maytime had suggested, that where did I lost my place? That given a truly fine operetta, there would still be a vast public clamoring for seats. It also demonstrated how rapidly war-born animosities had faded. But there were other problems. Was the show in 3 acts and a prologue and 2 acts, or a prologue and 2 acts? This working type scripts had it both ways, while the published program, which has a list of program in 2 acts, contradicted the published text. Well, too bad. Which divided the evening into 3 acts. The problem is the length and richness of the prologue, or, if you will, the shortness of the first act. It takes too long to set up the basic situation. The hero does not make his appearance until well into the second act. This may have been a compelling reason for calling it Act 1. Conversely, the denouement is too much to be fully justified. Nancy Dodge thinks she loves Dickie Stewart, the wastrel brother of her classmate, Polly. But her Uncle George insists she marry Philip Campbell. That was played by John Charles Thomas, incidentally. Philip is in love with a young widow, Anne Merton. Philip and Nancy capitulate and are married, but they agree that each is free to go his own way. They resume their old flirtations, but in the confusion of a masked ball, discover they truly love each other. Dickie and Anne, old flames, leave hand in hand. Even if there were faults in the proportion, William LeBaron's characters and dialogues were so far above operatic standards. Dickie was marvelously witty and suitable lines. He complains that at Nancy's school they won't let you see a girl in her room even if she isn't studying. And after the wedding, confesses to the bride, I was afraid you might think that when you were married I would want to break our engagement. I don't know. Nancy, obviously determined to block out her marriage, returns from the ceremony alone. Julie, the maid, says to her, but where is Mr. Campbell? And Nancy says, who? And Julie says, your husband. Oh, isn't he here? I guess I jumped into the wrong car. Or else he did. Or perhaps he isn't coming. I don't know. My brain is in the whirl anyway. And so Julie says, and this is your wedding day? Oh, Miss Nancy, it ain't right. You're starting out where most of them finish. Oh, God, what a score. I mean, what a book. Yeah. Philip is equally well drawn. He enters with the rousing of slightly merry widow-like little girl's goodbye, but he is no cardboard ladies' man. He's alert and humorous. He quickly realizes Dickie is Nancy's boyfriend and naughtily contrives an awkward meeting for them. But as good as the libretto was, the show might have been lackluster without his scintillating score. Embarrassingly for Kreisler, who garnered most of the pre-opening attention, it was Victor Jacobi who wrote the hit You Are Free, a duet for Nancy and Philip. The song had oddly Victorian lyrics for a 20th century message. Jacobi was responsible as well for Little Girl's Goodbye. Time helped redress the imbalance. Nancy's first act waltz, Who Can Tell, which Kreisler composed, was given new lyrics and new life in 1936 as Stars in Your Eyes. I don't have that, unfortunately. Maybe next week. Besides two top singers, Thomas and Miss Bennett, the show featured two personable young dancers, Fred and Adele Astaire. The Times alerted readers to watch for the vastly entertaining dances by the nude Astaires, in particular for the incredibly nimble and lackadaisical Astaire named Fred. He is one of those extraordinary persons whose senses of rhythm and humor have all been mixed up, whose very muscles, of which he seems to have an extra supply, are downright facetious. One of their dances was done to Kreisler's tambourine chinois. The other, to Jacobi's music, began when Fred playfully retrieved a ball of yarn Adele had dropped. Although the paper was careless in its spelling, because they spelled it Adair, A-D, instead of Astaire, it was also perspicacious. All during the 20s, Adele was awarded the lion's share praise for the team. Not until Fred was forced to perform alone did most critics and audiences fully appreciate his brilliance. Apple Blossoms had the added allure of 3 sumptuous urban sets recreating a garden. I wish I had copies of those sets, but I don't. Photos, I should say. A garden at a girls' school, an elegant Fifth Avenue study, and a spacious ballroom. The operetta played into May, then toured successfully. So that was a long read, ladies and gentlemen, but I wanted to give you a flavor of that of that musical. So, okay, now I have some more music, and I have 20 minutes. Oh dear. Okay. This is Apple Blossom Waltz. Quite lovely. Now, I also have for you, You Are Free, which I got from a recording called Opera Delights. It's basically, as a matter of fact, an operetta archives recording, OA 1008. You can see the cover here. No, maybe not. But anyway, uh, You Are Free, sung by Frank Parker and Margaret Daum. This is one of the great songs from the show. Fred Astaire.
Love is just a game that two are playing. Love is nothing but a game of chance.
For the one who chooses very often loses. Love is never sure to be romance.
Danger always lurks in Cupid's arrows, but he hasn't aimed at you and me.
If you are thinking of some other one to love, you may always know that you are free. Love is just a game that two are playing. Love is nothing but a game of chance. For the one who chooses very often loses. Love is never sure to be romance.
Danger always lurks in Cupid's arrows, but he hasn't aimed at you and me.
If you are thinking of some other one to love, you may always know that you
Al and Fred Astaire. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get onto the pictures soon enough. You hadn't seen me. Okay, well, anyway, I have some more time here. And now I'm going to play for you Kreisler, Fritz Kreisler, playing his own violin. Who can tell? Here we go. Now, I also have for you the Victor Light Opera Company doing Gems from Apple Blossom. Let's get that in. I think I have enough time for that. Okay, let's go. You can see what they're playing here.
Love is just a game that you are playing. Love is nothing but a game of life.
For the one who loses very often loses. Love is never sure to be romance.
Flames are always lost in Cupid's arrow. But because of name that you unseen, if you're thinking of some other girl to love, you may always know that you are
And the wedding bells are ringing, and the meeting they are singing. Any music nowadays is a great celebration to set your feet to swinging. And you hear the organ pealing, if you get the funny feeling, it's just some mountain ways, a dancing wedding day.
There are hundreds of brothers who'd look strange to their mother. Every girl must have grown up who some may have three. For there's many a sister that her brother won't return. But no good friend that did belong to a brother in the family.
Oh, love star, shine down on a beautiful maid. Hark to the strains of my glad serenade. Bring her many lovers to woo her. You know that your magic commands are the kind that must be obeyed. For lovers to be happy are under your care. Smile down, keep them ever away from despair. If you do, they will always remain true. As all the world we've been told of the lover, they all love you. I love the girl, just the same. And being with cannot kill the flame. There is a same old love in the nation. With the name and the flame. And when she looks at me with a smile, I know it can't make life worth a while. So I'm a feeling the gift and the love name. So dear and turn,
Yeah, well, that was fun. I have, well, let's just put it this way. Apple Blossoms ran for 256 performances. And it was followed by and I might have a little bit of time here to get it in. No, I don't think so. But anyway, if I don't, I'll play it next week. Can you believe that Rudolf Frimmel wrote a musical called The Little Whopper? I had actually never heard of it until I came upon it here. It's from music by Rudolf Frimmel and lyrics by Dudley and Otto Harbach. It played for 204 performances, and the song I was going to play for you, but I think I'll get it in next week, though. Oh, What a Little Whopper, from Billy Murray singing it. I'll start it. It's kind of fun.
No matter what before, there's no excuse at all for a tip or lie. Rather than telling truth, each self-respecting youth should prefer to die. When you're tempted to falsify, prevaricate, or practice deceit, stop for a moment, then count slowly up to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and to yourself repeat. Oh, what a little whopper, oh, what a little whopper, little but my, like every lie, it's going to multiply, for every little whopper means just another whopper by and by. And when Satan shall tempt me and try with all his might to prove he'll exempt me from sin because they're white, that's another whopper, and every little whopper means just another little whopper by and by. He who equivocates, spoofs, or exaggerates might as well have lied. Fables of Jonah whales, fish yarns, and fairy tales should be all denied. Even preachers who listen to the promises when people are wed, I'll swear to love away, I'll honor and obey, and knew they should have said, oh, what a little whopper, oh, what a little whopper, little but my, like every lie, it's going to multiply, for every little whopper means just another whopper by and by. As when wifey shows hubby her brand new winter hat and tells him it cost her just $15 flat, that's another whopper, and every little whopper means just another little whopper by and by.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have to close up now. You got most of the song. I may do it again next week. Oh, what a little whopper. I mean, I just don't believe that Rudolf Frimmel wrote that, but he did, and that's the bell. So good night now, everybody. And God bless. See you next Sunday. Bye-bye now.